Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you are a new viewer, then welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by, and please be sure to like and subscribe if you love my videos. Also, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I am always happy to have you. So welcome everyone. Thank you guys for stopping by. Before I get into this money spread, please make sure that you look into the description below. That has all of my disclaimers. I have been dealing with hackers. I have been dealing with people catfishing as me online. I have had my email accounts hacked. I just recently sorted out unauthorized charges to my account. So I'm only saying this because there has also been piracy of my content as well. My content has been stolen and replicated onto other sites, and even people opening accounts in my name and catfishing as me once again. So if you see any images or videos or my name or any audio or any written or typed out text that is outside of this channel that that either has to do with me or is about me, it is all fake. I will never reach out to you for any personal information or for any money or anything like that. If you see anything regarding myself outside of this channel, it is fake, and please report it. And please excuse the watermarks. That's actually why I have them on here, because there has been piracy of my content, and that there has been an uptick of piracy from other creators' content being taken as well. So I'm just making sure that I'm taking all of my extra precautions. I'm not sure if it'll ever be safe for me again to just kind of take off those precautions. I feel like I'm just going to have to keep them. But yes, so if you see anything regarding me outside of this channel, it is all fake. Do not give your information, and make sure you report it. Okay, so that's how important it is. So that's why I'm stressing that. Okay. Also, in this money glitch spread, I'm not gonna lie either, I have been dealing with a lot of hate in my, in the location that I live. And so, especially like in my surrounding community. So my money reads are actually going to be excluding my surrounding community. I know I go and do my money drops around the city. I don't really view the whole city as that, just my immediate community, my immediate location where I am. I exclude this community because I don't believe that people should. Now, if you're going to be a hateful person and you're hateful directly towards me, you're not going to be benefiting from any of my insights, whether you like it or not, or whether you believe in it or not, or even whether you care or not. I mean, I'm not sure why they'd be interested anyway, but I'm just putting that fact out there. People who are hateful are not going to benefit from my insights, but this is especially for my immediate community. They will not be benefiting from these money spreads. I will deliberately be excluding them and their energies out of my money spreads, and this will be for the rest of you as the collective. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about some money. Okay, I know that was a bit of a rant, but I really needed to get some important stuff out there. Okay, so I kind of want to start off with something a bit. Let's get one that's kind of straight to the point. Okay, let's clear this deck of any leftover energy so I can get a clarified message. What? Okay, so let's talk about excluding my immediate community. What is the money guidance for the collective? Let's go ahead and flip this card over. We got a tower. We got a turtle. I'm just flipping some things off the top. A watch, frame. We got clover on the bottom. I like that. Okay. And let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh no, where'd that card go? Oh my gosh, I don't even see it. Oh, here it is. It kind of fell like sideways. We got gold. That gold came out sideways. Oh my gosh, now I gotta adjust. Okay. All right, and then let's do maybe like one more card out of this deck. Gold was on the side. And I'm going to interpret these in a sec. Eggs. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I kind of want to take this out on the top too, which was gears. Okay, so Tower was the first one that I flipped over, so something very sudden. I automatically get Tower energy from the tarot, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, but that is kind of what I get from it. Let's see, earning power, building a business, sound decision. Career is corporate job, power, unstable position. But you know what? One thing I will say here, I don't really see anything as if somebody's job is in jeopardy or anything like that. Um, I see somebody making slow but steady progress, especially with the turtle out here. Money coming slowly, steady progress, moving for work in good time, long term. So I feel like somebody is probably going to maybe land a permanent job. Maybe with the tower, somebody's going to be temp. Maybe start off as a temp worker and then be hired as permanent, but they may have to endure. You may have to endure like a long probation period, or you may have to work hard through your probation period. Odds are you're going to really have to earn your permanent position. Okay, and it looks like you'll get it. It looks like you'll be able to do it, especially with gears. What I like about gears is that they also still represent progress. They represent everything working in it represents everything working its part. Everybody doing their part, everybody pulling their weight, everybody working in a perfect unison to get the job done. Then that's me intuitively reading that. But let's look. Money flow, hard work, putting plans in motion. Career is building, team, taking time off, security. And I definitely see security with the turtle, because it is a very defense oriented animal with its shell, and shells represent protection as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody may be working as a security guard. And then with tower, somebody may be a security guard at maybe some high-end, high-profile corporate building or corporation. Okay, so that's probably why you got to work very hard through your probation so that you can get hired permanently. Things look pretty good, just as long as you stay consistent. You don't have to push yourself very hard. Work hard, but don't overexert. Keep your pace steady. Know what your limits are and know what you can do in good time. I'm getting prioritized, especially with watch. I get prioritizing your work so that you can work steady, okay? It's time to profit, divine timing, seize the moment, waiting period, temp work, laid off. And again, I feel like now with tower, and then I see laid off at watch. Even if there would be a chance at being laid off, I feel like that it won't take you that, well, I won't say it won't take you that long to find something, but I feel like if you do find something, you may end up going through like a long interview process, and you would still probably get it and get it just in time, right in the nick of time, before things would start to tip over for you. So it's kind of like kind of a little bit. And so I think that's also why the tower is out there. And then even so, I kind of feel like with eggs out here, even if you were laid off or let go, I'm seeing like severance. I'm seeing like severance funds. Perhaps a severance package. Maybe you had benefits at this job, and so you're going to cash out those benefits, and try to keep your progress that way until you can get into another position. Eggs is starting over, saving up, resources, next nest egg. The career is healthcare, new opportunities, and insurance. And again, so I really feel like, especially with gears, you may even be able to smooth into a transition. I feel like you would be able to smooth into a new job, but just make sure that there are things that you're planning ahead of time, things that you're prioritizing. Procrastination will probably be your worst enemy. Okay. And before I continue on, these readings are timeless, so whenever you find this, I used to do week by week, but that was just a little too strict and strenuous for me. So I see why, other people were, other readers were saying this is timeless, because, it's more like giving it up to fate when you all would find these, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. We have frame, steady income, organizing, accomplishments. Careers are art and design, home-oriented, self-employed. Now, with Frame, I'm also seeing that you're probably being watched a lot. Your performance is probably being watched a lot. There's probably people who may watch a compilation of your performance, and they may see you as somebody who is steady and consistent. And then, especially with Clover here, they probably think, they probably not even think. I feel like they may feel that they caught a lucky break in probably hiring you, or even when they prospect you. Because when I look at gears, I kind of get experience. This is, I don't think I would say, even if you're close to being a novice, you at least have an idea or some sort of light experience. Not complete novice, but I get experience out of this. So you're either, firstly with eggs and with watch, I see somebody that's very experienced. But even, let's say, even if you're not seasoned, you have some experience. I would say the least amount of experience that somebody would have with gears is having maybe worked at one other place before. So you at least have an idea of how things work, and you're not a complete novice. Okay, by this time you will probably get to this job that you're in or upcoming. You may now be at intermediate experience, or maybe beginner to intermediate experience. Okay, but as long as you decide that you want to stick with it, you're going to get good at what you do. And then again, Clover said lucky break, gamble, good fortune, chance. Careers are finance, outdoors, risky business, surprises. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys ended up, if somebody maybe saw your profile. I'm seeing that with Frame. Somebody maybe saw your resume on a profile, and they're like, hey, you think you want to take a shot with us? At least have an interview with us and, see how things go. I feel like you would get it if they did. I feel like even if you were to be looking for something may also reach out to you. So wonderful. I'm seeing like a corporate health place, a corporate healthcare place. Some of you may need to relocate for work. Some of you may also have a pretty distancing commute. Now I see gold on the side here. Sold finances, investing, integrity, deep values. Career is banking, long-term position, satisfying work. Now, I feel like gold is on its side. The first thing I get with gold on its side, or gold period, I also think of benefits. So a place that might have some sort of lackluster benefits. I won't say no benefits, but maybe like lackluster benefits. Like their benefits could be better, but also with long-term position. And we got the turtle here as well that has long term. Like I said, I'm seeing somebody that might get newly hired and may be in a probationary period. And so long as you are consistent in your probation, I feel like you will permanently get the job. Wonderful. Okay, so it's a steady progress. If you want it, this is one of those things that if you want it, it'll work out. And I feel like you won't be wasting your time. You'll be building. There are things that you'll be cultivating. That's what I'm getting. You'll be cultivating. Okay. Especially with Clover out here, I feel like something out of nowhere is going to work out. Especially with Clover and Tower, this is probably even a good tower. I feel like even if you were to lose something may automatically come into its place. Maybe not even instantly. I wouldn't even say instantly, but it still would be coming. But still, make sure that you still keep yourself. You still keep your obligations and your routine going. Keep your routine going so that you will still be able to transition nicely into anything new that may be coming in. Okay, still stick to your routine, even if it is to change. Stick to your routine. Okay, even if it's to change, make a steady routine. That's what I'm getting. Make a steady routine. That's important. A steady routine. Okay. Let's clear the stack of any leftover energy so I can get a clear, clarified message. Okay. Let's see what we got here. For the collective, this is excluding my surrounding community. This is going to be for the rest of the collective. Now on the bottom here, I got hunting and fishing, commercial fisher, outfitter, wildlife management. Now, what's funny is that the clover actually has outdoors. It has outdoors, and so with fishermen, this is an outdoors job. Outfitter, wildlife management, guide. So this is in particular for somebody who wants a job outdoors. It doesn't even have to necessarily be hunting or fishing, but especially, I would say, especially if you are hunting and fishing, if you're maybe even like a longshoreman. Okay, a longshoreman, that's jumping out quite a bit, but it doesn't have to be. It can be anybody that works outside, especially if it has to do with animals, especially with wildlife management. Somebody who may work at a zoo, especially with turtle. I'm getting actually more aquatic working. Yeah, this is definitely somebody fishing or working with aquatics. As you can see, there's seafood in here, and then you see a turtle, which is an aquatic animal. So definitely somebody working with water, maybe somebody who lives near water or has to commute to go to a place that has water, and you know, they're a longshoreman or they work with aquatic life. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be hunting and fishing. I think it's just primarily that. But this could even be somebody who works at SeaWorld. That's what I'm getting, maybe SeaWorld. Okay, we also got auto services, auto mechanic, auto body tech, roadside assistance. Now what I'm loving here is that with gears, I feel like if somebody did get a job in auto services, something's going to end up stabilizing. Something's going to end up stabilizing with their money. This kind of just like flipped out onto the table, like I don't know. But I feel like if you're good at cars, or if you want to learn at cars, this is going to be this is something that might steady things out for you. Okay, and I actually forgot to take out this card from the last deck that I just used with Rose on the bottom. Okay, and Rose is financial relief, being content, loving care. The career is supportive role, job security, growing. So especially with gears, I really feel like there might be just like a slow progress or a slow process to getting a new job, you know, whether that's probation period or you go through like a long interview process and you're waiting to hear back. I feel like that you will get this job, and more than likely, if you're consistent, you know, you're going to be permanent, and it's going to give you great security, especially if you're going to be working as a mechanic with gears and auto services out here. Okay, beautiful. What else? I kind of want to flip from the top. What's at the top here? Entertainment. So right off the bat, I feel like some of you guys may be influencers. Doesn't have to be. Let's see. Musician, dancer, performer, actor, comedian, magician. Now, of course, somebody would have to be an influencer. You know, that's like one of the quickest ways for exposure. But with entertainer and frame, I mean, this is basically what I'm basically doing right now. You know, the frame is my, the camera is my frame basically. And so I feel like if somebody wants to get into content creating, whatever that content may be, you know, whatever it is that you love to do and you want to share it with the world, I also see somebody doing that. But being a content creator does take a lot of consistency, and it can be a long and daunting progress. But if you stay consistent at it, usually something out of nowhere comes to drop. So please don't be discouraged. And I'm definitely stressing that because it wouldn't be out here if the potential wasn't there, you know. I also feel like if you invest in it, because the things, especially being a content creator, it takes a lot of investment, not just investment in money, but definitely an investment in time. Okay, but be consistent. Consistency is going to be a key word for this. Consistency. In fact, I feel like that should be a constant keyword, but I feel like this is a time where it's more crucial than than usual. We got two of these cards that kind of want to come out here. So we got homemaker as one, meal prep, parenting, budgeting, cleaning, housework. We also have food services, waiter, food vendor, bartender, food prep, griller, dishwasher. Okay, so I definitely think that homemaker and food services go hand in hand. And then I'm also getting somebody who may work at a seafood restaurant that makes really fresh 2020 on the timer there makes really fresh and delicious seafood dishes, deliciousness. And then with homemaker, I'm also getting somebody who's like buying like subscription dinners like Home Chef or Factor, something like that. Delicious. Especially I'm getting that either somebody loves eating eggs or somebody may be allergic to eggs. Okay? Eggs may be a lucky delicious food to have. Um if you're watching this video, eating eggs in any kind of way. Okay, especially with food service here. I'm also getting a breakfast restaurant. You know, the restaurants that close pretty early. I think the latest I've ever seen a breakfast restaurant open was maybe like 4 o'clock. You know, I think they typically tend to close like around like 2, between like maybe 2 and 4 o'clock. But I'm also getting a breakfast restaurant. So maybe somebody should apply to a breakfast restaurant. A breakfast restaurant, or maybe a seafood restaurant as well. A seafood restaurant. I don't know why, but I'm getting like crab eggs Benedict, like a shellfish eggs Benedict, crab or lobster eggs Benedict. Delicious. Some of you guys may also want to try out some new recipes. Some of you guys may want to content create with food. You know, you making your own creations with food, with homemaker and food services and entertainment here. Okay, beautiful. What else we got? This one wanted the fashion designer, model, stylist, fashion illustrator, fashion buyer. Now, beautiful again. You know, this is somebody you may, I won't say this is somebody. I won't say either you or, you know, or maybe somebody that you know are going to try out modeling, or even maybe a fashion influencer. I'm subscribed to a few on YouTube myself. You know, maybe you're a very stylish person, maybe you're good looking, you know, and you got good style, so you want to share that talent with the world, and something that actually, and I mean, you probably have like styles that work, you know, things, you know, different components, different colors or different patterns, and you bring them all together and they just work. That's a natural talent, you know, and that goes for anything. This can go for clothes. This can go for food. This can go for writing lyrics. You know, there are different components that you bring together that all works out in a beautiful unison. Okay, so definitely, oh my gosh, I'm really getting consistency. And if you have a talent, please feed it. You know, there may be a talent you might be overlooking. I don't know why I just got that. Okay. Let's actually do one more out of this deck. What else we got? What's another occupation out of here? Oh, this one wants to come out. Floristry. I've never seen this one before. Floristry. Nice. Floral design, nursery attendant, horticulturist. Make sure I said that right. I have to look up that word. That's a 10-point word, isn't it? Flower delivery. Okay. Now what I'm loving here, I'm instantly getting like, I'm instantly getting like interior designer, especially with homemaker and fashion. I'm getting an interior designer, as well as somebody who's good with flowers. Maybe your specialty is flowers and interior design. Or if not, you know, this is probably a good time to look into it. Some of you guys may have a green thumb. Okay. And then you may even want to stream that. You may even want to content create with it. Isn't that amazing? I'm also getting somebody who's great at garnishing food. people who know how to use the perfect garnishment on a food. And believe it or not, garnishing food can really elevate 2442 on the timer. You know, garnishings on top of your food just elevates. So I really feel like if you are a foodie and you're really good at cooking, this is a good time to also experiment with with fine herbs, fresh herbs, like my personal favorite is dill. I love it. I'll put it on everything. I will never understand people who don't like dill, but I understand that people's tastes are different, and that's totally okay. But me, I love dill. I love dill, cilantro, and chives. I also love basil. So all of those delicious things, even oregano, fresh green herbs that can always elevate food. Another one of mine that's not too overpowering is chervil, which is I think it's like a French parsley. It's actually it's a very pretty garnish. I love it, and I love the taste. It has a slight subtle but prominent taste. Delicious. Okay. Now there's a couple of decks that really jumped out and I feel like they want to be pulled. So let's clear this deck of any leftover energy so I can get a clarified message. Okay, beautiful. I'm really liking this so far. You guys have a lot of resources. I'm seeing, resources, especially with eggs. Eggs have you see where it says resources here. So yes, there's a lot, there's a lot to be resourced from. And so I feel like even if you did get laid off, even if something did knock you off of your routine, the tower can be known for doing that, but I'm also getting a good tower at the same time. So even if you are knocked off, I really feel like there's so much resources for you to have. There's a lot of resources for you to grab from, okay? I don't think it'll just be thrown to garbage. You know what I mean? So, okay. But beautiful spread so far. I love what I'm seeing here. It's not without its little hurdles here and there, and it's maybes and what ifs, but more than likely, things are going to work out probably more than fine. Okay, I really like that, and I'm not even just saying that. This is what I'm really getting. Okay, I'll tell you if it's going to be some fuck shit out here when it comes to your money and career. It'd be unfair if I didn't tell you. I don't want to just tell you good things and then something happens. Now fortunes do always change, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying I will tell you how I see it. Okay, good or bad, I'm going to always hope for the best, but I'll still tell you the worst if it's out here. Okay, I will tell you that. Okay. What else for the rest of the collective, excluding my community, my surrounding physical community? What else for the collective, for the rest of the collective? We have many blessings. I'm gonna read that in a sec. I want to pull some more cards. Many blessings. I love that already. Spiritual gifts. Ooh. Foresight. Lead the pack. Golden touch. Ooh, hey. Like minds. Okay. And then what's another one for the collective? Let's do one more. See beyond. I love that. Okay. So here's what I'm getting. Right off the bat, again, your resources. You are going to have resources here, many blessings. You are being divinely guided to your destiny. Rising, soul-fed mentor. So some of you guys really do need to get into a talent, into something that you love to do. And of course, with many blessings and eggs with resources, please believe there are things out there for you to grab, for you to grab and to grasp and to hold and to cultivate. Please believe it. Now with spiritual gifts and foresight right off the bat, some of you guys may be looking at my videos or other readers' videos for foresight, which is a wonderful thing. There are no judgments here. No judgments here, and there's probably no judgments on them either. I mean, I can't speak for them, but I feel like there's no judgments from them either. So, definitely this is one of your resources right now. This is one of your resources right now, okay? And I'm glad you're here. And then some of you guys may also even have your own spiritual gifts as well that you may want to grow and cultivate and, and turn it into something. If you're inspired to also be a spiritual creator, like a spiritual content creator, that's amazing. So spiritual gifts is using your intuitive talents brings rewards. Purpose aligned magic. Foresight is be thinking ahead to envision a bright future. Clarity guides star power. So again, some of you guys who may be into fashion, modeling, you're beautiful, you're handsome, please believe you're gonna land something. You're gonna land something. Now with the moons out here, I feel like you see prospects that you want, and some of you may not get what you want, but you still may end up getting something. I feel like that there's like maybe someone watching you and prospecting you from afar who may want you to work for them. Okay. We have golden touch. What you commit to brings fortune and fame, influence, triumph, charm. Again, what you commit to, remember? Consistency. Please believe it. Consistency. And especially with influence as well. Influence and star power. Influence and star power. Some of you guys, and with with entertainment too. Like some of you may end up being famous for what you're going to do. That's if you stick to it, and if you're committed to it, if you're consistent with it. We also have like minds, so I automatically get networking out of this. Find your tribe and share ideas in abundance. Giving inspired support. I love this. I automatically got networking out of here. And that's also what gears can do as well. And the thing is, there are people who you might, like minds that you might meet over time to make a network with. And then you guys can, I automatically get, like with Tower and Gears, I get an organization. So networking with an organization, beautiful. Lead the pack. Use your leadership skills to create your empire. Boss, owner, top dog. And see, the thing is, when you are a content creator, you are your own boss for the most part. So when you are doing this, you definitely have to be, very, very responsible. So, when it's like this, only you are responsible, okay? You may not have to answer to anybody, but you are solely responsible, okay? And so some of you guys who will end up working for yourself, I really feel like, you're going to end up getting a lucky break somewhere. And I honestly don't know where it's coming from. It's like there's so many good things that are going to come from different directions. That's kind of what I'm getting. From all different directions, there's going to be like good things or chances or opportunities. That's what I'm looking for. From different directions, there's going to be different types of opportunities coming towards you. Okay, some of them you're going to need to work more harder than others, or more smarter than others. But I really feel like that once you see what's in front of you, you'll pretty much peep how you're going to go about what it is that you are pursuing, or what you're endeavoring. I really feel like some of you guys have great discernment, almost top notch discernment, even going into intuition, some of you, or you're very intuitive, but at the most, I really feel like that your discernment is great. And so you're really, like I said, you're really going to come into the idea on how things are going to work. 33 on the timer there. It won't, I won't say it won't. You're still going to have to learn the technique of things. It's not, I feel like with the issue with you, it's not going to be being shown the ropes. It's how the rope is tied. No, especially if you worked in several places similar and that work in a similar industry. Kind of like if you've worked retail, you worked at Victoria's Secret, and then you worked at Saks, and then you worked at Urban Outfitters, and then I don't know, you worked at Fendi or something like that. These are all retail stores. They all sell clothes, they all sell style, but so you pretty much know the general ropes, but how all these places tie their rope is different. And I think that's going to be your learning curve. That's how you're going to need to learn your technique. So not really the rope itself, but how this specific place ties their rope in comparison to others. Wonderful. See beyond. Look past obstacles and get to the finish line. Ambition, venture, reward. Again, with the consistency and commitment. Now, that's probably going to be a very heavy consistent theme in my money videos. But all right, guys, my time is up. I wish I could tell you guys more, but I will be back soon with another money video. I'm gonna post some lucky things at the end. I still got some things that want to come in, but ooh, I'm just gonna have to save it for next time. But I love you guys. Thank you, and like and subscribe. Love you guys so much. Bye.